From KTVU Fox 2 News, this is Headlines on 2.
Good morning. Welcome to Headlines on 2. I'm Pam Cook. Donald Trump's new running mate, JD Vanced, took the stage at the RNC for a much-anticipated primetime address. The 39-year-old senator from Ohio shared his story growing up poor and addressed his mother's battle with addiction. He introduced himself as a fighter for the working class, promising to fix the failures of administrations past and present.
Joe Biden has been a politician in Washington for longer than I've been alive, 39 years old. Kamala Harris is not much further behind. For half a century, he's been the champion of every major policy initiative to make America weaker and poorer.
Tonight, Donald Trump will accept the party's nomination and deliver a speech. President Biden had to cancel a planned address to Latino voters after testing positive for COVID. The illness comes at a critical time during his re-election bid. Vice President Kamala Harris released a short video calling out Vance's policies, including his support for abortion restrictions, an issue he now says is up to the states.
Have a state of being where the government can tell you what to do with your body? I mean, the most basic of things you should have control over? Everybody better watch out about what other freedoms you're taking for granted.
Violence in America is...
The vice president was in the battleground state of Michigan, focusing on reproductive rights in this election. Recent polls have Trump leading by a couple of percentage points in Michigan. It's a state President Biden and Kamala Harris won 4 years ago by about 3%. Now, Vice President Harris called Republican JD Vanced to congratulate him on his selection as Donald Trump's running mate. She welcomed the senator from Ohio in what's described as a brief but respectful conversation and said she would like to meet in a debate. Vice President Harris has agreed to face off on either July 23rd or August 13th. Now, the Trump campaign only responded with a statement indicating their rhetoric that President Biden will drop out of the race, saying, quote, "We don't know who the Democrat nominee for vice president is going to be, so we can't lock in a date before their convention. To do so would be unfair to Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, Gretchen Whitmer, or whoever Kamala Harris picks as her running mate." Now, President Biden has not announced any plans to withdraw from the race. Any vice presidential debate scheduled would be with Vice President Harris. Happening this morning, the leading candidates running for San Francisco mayor will face off in a debate hosted by the San Francisco Firefighters Union. The debate is between the top 5 candidates: London Breed, Mark Farrell, Daniel Lurie, Aaron Peskin, and Asha Safai. It kicks off at 9:30 at the Firefighters Union Hall on Newell Street. Longtime Bay Area journalist Phil Matier is set to moderate that discussion. Alameda's police chief is angry that the man accused of killing his entire family is not being charged with special circumstance murder, which carries more severe penalties if convicted.
I've been a police officer for 26 years. I've seen a lot in my career. This is for sure, if not the most shocking, one of the most shocking incidents that I've ever experienced.
I just wanted to add that.
Alameda's police chief sat down with KTVU crime reporter Henry Lee to discuss the killings and the prosecution. 54-year-old Shane Killian is in jail, accused of killing his 36-year-old wife Brenda, their 6-year-old son William, and 14-month-old Wesley, along with his wife's parents.
I saw pain. I saw fear. I heard sounds that told me that there was pain, fear, and concern. I've looked into their eyes and I see the pain, confusion, sorrow that they're experiencing. And yeah, we need to pay attention to them.
Killian is charged with 5 counts of murder, but the chief is upset that prosecutors under Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price declined to charge the special circumstance of multiple murder, which takes life without parole off the table. Price was unavailable for comment, but her office issued a statement saying Killian still faces life in prison if convicted on all charges. San Francisco police are touting new data showing crime is declining within the city. The latest numbers indicate overall crime dropped by 1/3 compared to last year. The number of homicides down from 29 at this time last year to 18. The number of robberies, theft, including car burglaries, rape, and arson are also down. Police Chief Bill Scott credits long-term strategies, including more focus on high crime areas and adjusting to crime patterns.
Significantly trending in the right direction. Every major crime category, and I'm talking about Part 1 crime, the serious crimes, we're down double digits, every category. Homicides, larceny, burglary.
Chief Scott says it's impossible to know if crime is being underreported, but he says in the short term, his department has called on officers to work overtime, and he hopes hiring new police officers will help in the longer term. Service on the new Alameda Oakland ferry was paused the same day it opened to the public. The free Woodstock ferry hosted its first public rides yesterday morning at 7 a.m., but SF Bay Ferry says it suffered mechanical problems about an hour before the last scheduled trip. Riders tell us 150 people were lined up to board the water taxi when they found out it broke down.
It was a pretty good crowd. A lot of us were really excited to be able to finally have like an easy way to get back and forth here, especially people with bikes who normally would have to ride all the way down to like one of the bridges further south.
The people who were waiting to ride the ferry were offered shuttles to go back to Alameda. Despite the setback, people were still excited about riding the water taxi. No word yet if it will be back up and running today, but you can visit our website, KTVU.com, to see the water taxi schedule. Tens of thousands of people went to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara to see the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones tour, called the Hackney Diamonds Tour, started in 2022, kicked off again in April. Before the concert, fans tailgated for hours and stood in line to buy Rolling Stones merchandise. Now, two of the original members of the Rolling Stones have passed away, but lead singer Mick Jagger, who turns 81 later this month, is still going strong.
Rhythm, there's soul in there, right? You can hear a little blues, right? And Mick Jagger's, he's just fantastic frontman.
We've been following the Stones. This is our 6th show this tour. We love them. Yeah, wow. Can't get enough.
The Rolling Stones have one more concert on their Hackney Diamonds tour this Sunday in Missouri.